Hello, beautiful queens. This is Hadiatu Dumbuya, and I'm excited to have you all on another Brunching with Beauties. And this is a time where we get to love on each other a little bit, learn about life. This is a place where we can learn about pivoting in life, overcoming in business, really just get ourselves calibrated for the week ahead. See, one of the things that I've learned is that if you don't control your day will control you. And it's that exact same thing about your week. And so we've created this platform as a safe place for you to just learn more, embrace all the great energy. This might be the only time in a week that you have this much energy jumping through the screen, but we are here for that and some more. And what we'll do is we always bring 3 to 4 phenomenal ladies. They are professionals in their field, and they're going to give you some insight and some tips about life and things that you can apply today, tomorrow, and forever. And so I am pumped and excited for another week of women that have inspired me in multiple different ways. And what we love to do is kick it off with one of our residents. Like, this is like a staple here with Brunching with Beauties, a phenomenal queen that I was introduced to years ago, and then I got to create my own relationship with. And now she is a sister for life. Like, this girl can't get rid of me. Even if she want to get rid of me, it's not happening. And so, I call her Miss Get Your Life Right. She is a relationship expert is what I would say. Whether it is family, whether it is marriage, whether it is friendship, she really helps us cultivate our relationships within ourselves and the people around us so that we can have the lifestyles that we want. Now, she also has a podcast called Wife Wisdom. And so it's funny, every time I hear her talk, she's like, the one thing I always want to do is get married and have a family. And I'm like, it's crazy that we're so close, because that was not my thoughts. But she has allowed me to understand that, you and your girls could have different goals, dreams, and aspirations, but you have to have something in common, and it has a heart to serve, and she has that. So she is an entrepreneur. She's a professional in her field. She's somebody that is going to allow you to understand what you need to apply for you to start living in your God-given purpose. And so without further ado, I'm excited to introduce you to Miss Christy Little-Jones, otherwise known as Wife Wisdom.
Thank you, Heidi. Thank you so much. Hello, sisters. Excited to see you again this week. I'm really excited. Every week is so awesome. Thank you for just allowing me to be here and spend some time with you on Sundays, but also, Heidi, just to be in the company of the amazing guests that you have on Zoom each and every week. They are so amazing. I learned so much. I'm gaining so much, and so thank you. I'm really looking forward to today and what everyone is going to share. And so, guys, what I want to talk to you about today is, while I talk about different relationships, we're going to talk about ourselves a little bit today. Because one of the things that I totally believe in is that it's sometimes difficult to teach out of a place that you are not, right? Where, when you are trying to share or encourage, it's difficult to share if you've never been in that space, if you've never done it, right? There's kind of like this inauthenticity there. So I really do try to be as authentic as I can in, the things that I share, the things that the experiences that I want to relate to each one of you. So today I just have to ask, because I need to know that I'm not alone in this, but how many of you have felt overwhelmed in the last, the last 30 days, the last 60 days since the pandemic? How many of you felt overwhelmed? So if you felt overwhelmed, can you just please help me not feel alone? Because I am like, wow, where do I begin? Both feet, both hands, and all the other limbs. Thank you, Pam. Okay, awesome. Absolutely, right now. Thank you. Yes. And so that's what I love about Brunching with Beauties, is that it's a sisterhood where we not only share some of the same experiences and the same feelings, but we really create a safe place where we feel we're not alone, and it validates kind of where we are. So today I want to talk about overwhelm, because I have been overwhelmed, and I feel like I've been, I don't know if you guys have seen those memes where somebody is like frantically typing on the computer, or they're like typing and they're cooking and they're, you know, they're driving and they're texting and they all of these different things at the same time. And you're just like, okay, I need to take a deep breath. So I have, you know, when I found myself like this for way longer than I needed to be, you know, I just said, you know, I need to try to do some things that will help me to not feel overwhelmed. Now, one of the things also that I have to admit, that where are my overachievers? Where are my perfectionists? Where are my super entrepreneurs? Where are my life livers? Like when I say life livers, I mean like you go all out, you want to experience life to the fullest in every area. So my husband says he's, you know, he doesn't really sleep very well. And I'm like, babe, what, you know, you need to go to bed. He's like, I'll sleep when I'm dead, right? Like that's his thing. Like, he's like, well, I need to, I just want to be able to experience every aspect of life. And if I'm sleeping, I'm going to miss it. Like, that's his whole kind of philosophy. So, so what I want to share today is about overwhelm, because my mind has felt so full, like it's been difficult to even fall asleep. Anybody can relate? Right, I need sleep too, Pam, listen. But it's that, you know, where, you know, you go to bed, but you're constantly thinking about your to-do list. Anybody do that? Where you're thinking about, okay, oh shoot, I forgot to do this, or I forgot to call that person. And you remember it only because you've gotten still for a minute, right? So this is what I have done that has helped me to manage the overwhelm and go from overwhelmed to, oh, wait a minute, I got this, right? So the very first thing that I did is something that I even teach my clients. It's called morning pages. And so with morning pages, it's journaling. And so the idea behind this is that when the very first thing you do when you wake up is you literally start writing. It's like this stream of consciousness, and you only write for 3 pages. That's it. 3 pages. So if you have a journal this size, you'll write 3 pages. If you have like the 8x10, then you do 3 pages. Now, the idea behind it is that you're supposed to write everything that's coming up, like everything that's coming up in your mind, in your heart, in your brain. So sometimes it's, you know, you might have had a dream, or sometimes, you know, you wake up and the very first thing is you're thinking about bills, right? Who wants to wake up and start thinking about bills? Or like, so, but the idea behind this exercise or this skill is to really help you reconnect with your spirit, really reconnect with your intuition, to really help reconnect with your heart, with clarity and focus. So you literally write. Now, there have been times when I'm like, nothing, right? So then what comes up is to-do lists, right? Oh, okay, I've got to do this. I have to call this person. And I literally start bullet pointing. And that's okay, because you just want to get in the habit. Because once you do this for 2 to 3 days, it's going to be amazing what starts to come and what starts to become more clear. So when you do morning pages, it takes about 30 minutes. And you literally just write it out, and you do not reread it. You do not erase it. You do not rewrite it, you know, because I have some of my folks who like to, you know, they scribble and then they want to write it pretty in, you know, their new journal. Nope. You literally are just writing. It's an exercise of connecting yourself back to your intuition, which is what guides you. Okay. So because we live in a world, and this world that we're in right now is like so ambiguous. There's so much change. There's so much uncertainty. There's so much unknown, and it's changing every day. So those of you, if you're like me and you like to plan, or you like to be organized, or you like to have some form of knowing what's going on, then it's a lot of stress, right? It's a very high stress for those of us who like have maybe control issues or who feel like, listen, I don't know what's going on. Like, my kids are virtual, but they may go back next week. Or like, my kids are playing sports, and what does this mean for college? Like, these different things, right? So, so morning pages. So journal for 3 pages in the morning when you wake up. Now, my assignment to you, or suggestion to you, is for you to do this for a week. Just for a week. When you wake up, before you brush your teeth, if you have to go to the bathroom, yep, go do that. But then come back and literally start writing. So get in a comfortable place. I have like where are my yoga people? Where's Keena? Keena and Erica, like I have my little pillow, like my little round pillow that I can sit on. And, and I literally just write. And I may just start breathing first initially, a couple of deep breaths just to kind of center myself. And then I just start writing. It is such an amazing exercise to do, because what it's going to do, because you were created out of love. You were created to be a creative being. And oftentimes we forget how creative we are because we are on autopilot. But in order to reconnect with that, we've got to really know what's coming up from the inside of us. Okay. So journaling is number one. And so one of the things that I've done is I started journaling everything. So I did my morning pages, and then I started to do a brain dump. Anybody know what that is? Because I needed to get everything out of my head. So everything that I was thinking about, everything that was on my mind, everything that I had to do, I had to get it out on paper. And so when I wrote it all out, it was like, okay. Now it could potentially start to stress you out because you feel like, oh my gosh, this is like way too much. But then what I did is I kind of categorized it. So I did body, I have business or purpose, I have family, work, spiritual, self-care, finances, and then my long-term bucket list. Now, these are things that I want to do. Like I've always wanted to do scrapbooking. Now, I have never had time with 3 babies in 3 years to be scrapbooking. But guess what? I may have time when they go to college to do that, right? Now I have all of these, my kids' pictures from when they were little in boxes. And one of these days, maybe not until I retire, but one of these days I'll be able to put them, put little scrapbook things for them together. So that's on my long-term bucket list goal. So now when it comes to body, write down what it is that you want. If you're wanting to eat healthy, if you want to try eating vegan, if you want to, exercise and try Pilates, if you're wanting to, everything having to do with your physical body. Okay. Then, for businesses for a lot of us are entrepreneurs. So what is it that you're wanting to do? Or if you're wanting to start a business, and what is the area that you want to start a business? If it's taking a webinar on learning how to, market or do social media, or market or on network marketing. So you're wanting to put it in that category. Then I have family. So with my family, it was being present. So these are some of my goals. Like I want to be more present with my family, really focusing more on my marriage with Adrian. My kids, I want to inspect what they're doing, especially with this digital learning. So inspect and then encourage, and then cook more meals weekly. That's not my lane, ladies. I do not like cooking. So that's what part of my goal for family. Now, one of the things that I realized when I categorized everything in these different, like after I did my brain dump, got it out, and I kind of categorized them, what it helped me to see was, okay, what is realistic? Because one of the things that's really important is we need to know, where are we, right? Where are you right now? Meaning, where are you in life? Where are you in your mind? Where are you in your heart? Where are you in your truth? So I feel like being honest with yourself is probably one of the hardest things for us to do, to be very realistic, especially if we're overachiever, especially if we are a go-getter or a super entrepreneur, or, I'm like Hadi, like I see a squirrel and I'm like, oh, like the shiny object syndrome, like oh, that's so pretty. And then you forget what's going on over here, right? So where are you right now? Now, you may be able to, we as women, we can handle a lot, but right now you may not be able to because you just had a baby, or you're pregnant and you're about to have a baby, and you're normally used to running 10 miles a day, or you're normally used to managing, multi-million-dollar contracts, you're normally used to, but maybe right now you can't do that. And I think what happens is with us as women, we feel like we're failing if we can't do it, because we've been able to do it before. So one of the things that I want you to be very honest about with yourself is, where are you right now? Where's your heart? Where are you in life? Where is your mindset, like what's going on, and where are you in the truth of really what's going on? So are you able to manage all that's on your plate right now? Are you able to, I remember when I had 3 in diapers at one time, because Sky, my oldest, was 2.5, and she had 2 brothers who kind of pushed her out, and she was potty trained at the time, but then she was like, oh no, I see what I need to do to get some more attention. So she reverted, and then we had to put her in pull-ups. And I remember feeling like I was a failure because I couldn't keep the house clean. But guess what? I couldn't do it. I was stretched thin. I wasn't sleeping. I was losing my hair. So in that moment, where was I? I was in a space where I needed to care for myself and care for my babies because they were the priority. I could care less if, the house was as spick and span as I wanted it. And then what it triggered in me was to learn how to do a better job delegating. So delegating, ladies, is our best friend. Now, I struggled with delegating because I felt like it wasn't necessarily a support mechanism or support system to me. It was interpreted in my own mind like, oh, I can't do it. I'm not good enough, right? That's a whole nother webinar. We'll do that another time. But it was really, if we can learn to delegate and outsource, listen, that is going to give you not only more time, more freedom, more flexibility, but it's going to free up some of the stress that you are putting yourself under. Because when you delegate, when I was able to say, hey, Adrienne, can you wash clothes? Can you fold them? Can you cook this? Can you do that? Because ladies, if you're not married already, you may have to teach your husband how to do those things, because oftentimes they don't initiate. They do not know that they need to be offering to do that. So you may have to tell them. I didn't realize that until it got to the point where I was so annoyed that he wasn't doing that I was like, don't you see I'm doing everything? Right? So I had to get to a place where, oh, I'm supposed to delegate. Oh. So now you got to delegate. Hey, babe, do you think you can help me and pick up the the toys that you're stepping over? Do you think you can pick them up? Right? So delegate is so when you are where you are, really asking yourself, where are you right now in life? Okay. And then you're going to do your morning pages. You're going to literally write everything down. You're going to do a brain dump. You're going to categorize them. And then you want to prioritize. So out of these categories, with anywhere from 1 to 10 things or 20 things in each category, you now, based on really being the honest truth of where are you are going to now choose literally 2 to 3 categories. That's it. Now I have, like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 categories. So, and these are things that I'm thinking about all day, every day. So now, to be able to choose 2, maybe 3 things to focus on and literally learn how to release the rest. That's the challenge, right? So select your focus. So and again, when I say prioritize, I'm talking about the next year. I'm talking about the next 7 days. It may be the next 30 days, or maybe 3 months, 2 months, but very short term. What is it that you can focus on? Because when we are in this situation that we're in, where the life is changing so frequently, it's frustrating, it's stressful, and it can cause more anxiety or more overwhelm if we're trying to plan like way out, because so many things are going to be changing. So when you select your focus, or you are prioritizing your categories, I want you to think about, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the month of October, right? And then you're focused on 2 or 3 of the priority of the content areas, and then you're going to release the rest. Now, releasing requires practice. So we feel like, again, we are designed to do a lot and manage a lot well. And so letting go of it sometimes is uncomfortable, but it's going to help you to manage the overwhelm. Release the rest. Release needing to clean the house 14 times a week because that's something that you feel like, oh gosh, this has got to be clean and it's got to be sanitized and all of these different things. So really being realistic with where you are and what is it that's a priority right now. And then I want you to give yourself permission to shift. So let's just say you pick body, business, and spiritual as your focus for the next 30 days, right? But then you kind of get into it and you're feeling like, dang, I have not been to the gym once this week, right? And then now you're beating yourself up because you feel like, oh man, I failed myself, and I can't do it. So now, but then you thought that was the priority. Maybe it's not. Maybe your business is more of the priority. So then you're focusing, just move the body out the way for right now and then focus on the business. So what I've found was that once I focus and really choose the priority, but give myself permission to shift if I need to, it's really given me a freedom and a sense of peace that I was missing literally a few weeks ago. And it's so weird to, self-care and sleep is really a priority to me. So it was so strange to just step away from the computer and sit on the couch and watch a movie and not multitask, right? Because movies, if you go to the movie theater is one thing, you can't really multitask. But when you're home, it's easier to multitask. So when I was like, oh, wow, I'm not multitasking, or I'm not, on my phone, I turned everything off. I just literally watched the movie, and it was very intentional, but I was present with it. I was able to experience it even very differently because I wasn't distracted trying to multitask, because we try to fit way too much into our day. Make sense? So, yeah, exactly, Jonelle. So those things really helped me tremendously in managing overwhelm. And I feel like the last thing was really focusing on the things that I can control. And I realized that I did like control. I did like controlling my day. I liked controlling even how things were going to show up. And the fact that I have had to relinquish that over the last 7 months, I've learned that, I can focus on my attitude. Right? Those are the things that I can focus on. So focusing on what you can control will help bring a level of peace. I cannot begin to tell you, I think I probably have 5 girlfriends right now who've been in the hospital during this pandemic. And they've gone to the hospital because they've had chest pains. And so now there was nothing wrong, but when every single one of them that went to the hospital, different states, different places, you know what they all said? The doctors said it was stress. Every single one of them. They were having heart palpitations because of the level of stress. So we ladies as women, we have to get to a place where because stress it's like a silent killer. And if we do not do what we can to manage the overwhelm, which can show up as stress in our lives, our body will tell us when it's gone too far, and we don't want to get it to that point. So I'm hoping that these quick tips will really help encourage you to not only be mindful of what's going on in your life, but to really recenter, reground yourself in the space of, where am I? Where am I right now, today, in this moment? I don't have the capacity to do all of these things that I want to do. So where is it that I can refocus? Where is it that I'm okay with? I'm okay with not necessarily working out 7 days a week this week, right? So even if you're doing 7 days, because I know that I'm going to be traveling. I know that my kids have these things going on. So my focus is going to be on my family this week. And so sometimes once we get into this flow of really recognizing what's a priority to us, it really helps us to not only be better partners for if we're married, or better moms, or friends, or business owners, but it really does help reduce the stress in your life. So Hadi, that is it. That's all I have. If I don't know, ladies, if you had any questions or comments, thank you guys so much for your comments, because it really does help. So yeah, Patricia, is this before prayer and meditation? So I've done it both ways. I've done prayer or I've worshiped first and then done morning pages. I've prayed, I've just meditated and breathed and just gotten clear. And then after that, I would start the morning pages and the journaling. So I think it really depends on what feels good for you.
I know that this is helpful for me, Christy, because so like I'll write my to-do list at night. And if I don't write it at night, it does impact the way that I sleep. And then when I wake up in the morning and try to write it out, I feel like completely and totally lost. So I like that, but I haven't really tried morning pages. Like I have a ritual in the morning. I haven't really done this. And I'm sure most of the ladies can relate to the fact that like we have all these different areas and things that we want to do, but you just saying prioritizing and choosing 2 to 3 categories, I think that's important, because if I write a to-do list, my to-do list for one day, y'all, it's like, girl, you ain't never, ever getting that done. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was 100 hours in a day, like I'm just doing the most, even writing it, sometimes I'm like, Heidi, come on now. But I put it all down. But I like that I've got to just categorize things so I can prioritize them and say, like, what's got to happen? What are the areas I want to focus on? And I think how I'll do this is I'll probably say, each week I have 2 to 3 categories and just switch each week so that I can kind of like see my progress in those categories and feel good. Because I think that's what most of us probably go through, is that we have all these things that we're supposed to do, but we never get to feel good. Like you never feel good at the end of it. You're like, I mean, there's still more, but if you just focus. So
yes,
I like that for sure. Let me see if I have any other things. Look, Denise said I have like 5 to 6 subcategories under each category.
Right, Denise. Totally. Hi, Dana. Yeah, it's so true. And you know, because and it's everything that you can think of in that category. So you know, so like for finances, I have, you know, Robinhood, you know, like start a Robinhood account and invest in these stocks. Savings goal, you know, what the goal is. My create an interest savings account, my new home buyers program, like everything under finances, like write them all down, because again, now that you have it written down, you feel like, okay, it's not going anywhere. So you don't have to keep thinking about it, right? You don't have to keep ruminating over all of these different things. So even self-care, I have, you know, time management, you know, even thought management, and your self-talk, body care, skin care, my quality time daily, sleeping 7 hours or more. So like all of these things, when you write them down, be as specific as you can, because then it'll help get it out of your head, so it's not feeling like it's oozing out of your ears.
Yeah, and I think that's us. Like any lady that has any goals or dreams or aspirations, we are like, our minds just never get to sit still. And when you do sit still, you almost feel guilty. But if you put sitting still as one of your priorities, you know what I mean? Then you're like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I feel good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Lauren, that's awesome that you can't multitask. It says I literally not multitask. Got it. You cannot not multitask. Yes. So yeah, it's a lot. And I think we were designed to do that. God really made us to be able to multitask well. But, you know, we have to really hold ourselves accountable to, like you said, Hadi, I just want to be still for 5 minutes. And, you know, even listening to nothing. Like my husband is one of those that needs noise all the time. Right? So I'm like, can you turn that off for 5 minutes? Like, so I gotta wake up before him to have like some quiet in the morning or go somewhere else. It's like, you know, people who like the noise because it makes them feel comfortable. As soon as they get in the car, they turn on the radio. As soon as they get downstairs, they turn on the TV. So that might be one of your self-care items, is listen, you know, have silence, like wake up to silence for 30 minutes. And then use that as one of the goals. Awesome.
Yeah, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Lauren.
I feel like I'm to the point where it's like overkill multitask. Like, I'm not even trying to be rude. I could literally be in a conversation with somebody and be like, oh yeah, and I gotta pay this, that, and that, email this person. And they're like, did you hear me? I'm like, can you start over real quick? And then when they start over, I do it again. It's like, what you're saying is so helpful to just force yourself. Like, I have to put my phone, computers, and everything in a whole nother room just to sit there and watch like 20 minutes of a movie with my kids. So these are really helpful tips that I can't wait to incorporate. So thanks for sharing.
Absolutely. Thanks, Lauren. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Christy. These are great. I think everybody is like, dog, we need this in our life like yesterday. And Lauren, I feel the same. I do it all the time. My friends are like, hello. I'm like, I'm here. I'm here. I swear. Just, I'm not all the way here, but I'm kind of here. Right. So I definitely agree. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start doing my morning pages. And it could be a small book, right? Because I feel like if I give myself a big book, I'll do too much. So I almost need to like get a small book so that I can limit how much I even put on there. Yeah. Right? So I don't go overboard. So everybody that got something from Christy, make sure she is able to see that here. Also do this. Make sure you stay connected with Christy. Christy, go ahead and put your social media in here so everybody can be connected with you. She does a podcast that you can definitely chime into. I know last week they did what women want, and this week is what men want. And so it's like a different panel that you'll be able to learn. So Christy is awesome. You know, we always have phenomenal ladies on here, and you can chime in and learn from her. Like, we gotta wife our lives. That's what we gotta do all day, every day, and that's what you help us do. So I appreciate it. So guys, we are going to switch gears to an area that like I need help with. It's like an area that like fashion and style is not my thing. Like people think like, oh yeah, you're a fashion not-nista, okay? Like I'm not that. I probably just go find whatever I can find, and if it coordinates enough and it's bright and fun, I'm gonna wear it. But I've always had like a piece of me that was like, I wish I had that eye. You know, like when you see people put an outfit together, but you look like, if I would have done that, I would have looked a hot mess. Like, there's no way. How did you do that? Like, I don't know. So I decided that we were going to get one of my good friends on here who is, gosh, she's an expert in the fashion area, but she's done a bunch of things, from coordinating fashion shows to having collaborations with like Macy's and Saks Fifth Avenue. And she is a fashion icon here. And what she's done through this pandemic is something that was inspirational to me. Like almost every single day, she interviews somebody else that has to do with fashion or lifestyle. Now to be committed to doing something every day, that's a lot, right? Like once a week on Sundays, guys, you guys see, like I promote it 10 minutes before the call sometimes. Like that's rough for me, right? Just the once a week, and to see that she does it every single day, and she's getting top caliber speakers in their realms. And I'm like, dang girl, like I need some of that in my life. And so I hit her up and I'm like, girl, I want to talk about fashion, but what I really want to, like having a personal, a brand within your style, and even who has to do like the thing right now where you need to start switching your clothes out. Like, I don't know if the weather is changing where you live, but yesterday it felt like almost winter. I had Uggs on and I was like, wait, my toes were out 3 days ago, yo. Like, how is it Ugg time? But we've got to like transition our wardrobes, but I don't want to go spend a bunch of money to go buy all new clothes. And you know, like how fashion trends change. I'm like, I ain't got it. So I wanted to bring one of my friends on here to speak to us about this. And, you know, she's just doing some great things. So she ran for, was it Miss Michigan? So she ran for Miss Michigan this year, which is so cool. Like, I love it. I love seeing queens doing their thing. And so she was able to do that. She has the stylingcloset.com. She helps you rearrange your life as it comes to fashion. Now I'm going to shut up and I'm going to introduce you to my girlfriend, Miss Latrice Delgado Macon. And so Latrice, are you there, my love?
I'm here. Hi guys. So let me give you a little background on myself, and I'm going to ask you guys some little questions, but you guys can jot it down. So we are in 2020, and 2020 is a year that we recreate our journey, we create our looks, our image and everything. We don't even really have to go outside. We can wear sneakers, we can wear anything. So I shop for different people. I shop for many celebrities and people who in corporate America, or who just people who just want to find their styles. And they always ask, Latrice, how can I find my image? How can I recreate my style? How can I find the right garments and everything to fit me? So I'm gonna give you guys 6 questions to write down, and then we're gonna discuss these 6 questions. The first question is, what do you wear most of? So for me, I wear a lot of black. I wear a lot of comfortable clothes, and I look stylish when I feel like it. But I wear a lot of black. So if I open up these closets, it's a lot of black. So I wanna know, where do you wear most of? The second question would be, let's go now. The second question would be, what's your personality? So you want to dress like your personality. Some people are very bubbly. Some people are very, conservative. Some people are chic. Some people like the street style or whatever, or they just trying to find their image over. So the next question would be, what's your best features? So you know how we look in the mirror, we want to see our best features, we want to pose correctly, we want to make sure that selfie look great, we want to make sure that before you post that picture it looks fabulous. We want to know where your features are. Then we have another question. What's your lifestyle? So lifestyle can be anything. So people have different lifestyle. People have lifestyles where they like to go on yachts. People have different lifestyles where they're doing corporate America, lifestyles where they just, mommy, and they don't know how to find their image and everything. So they have different lifestyles. So we're going to create your lifestyle, and we're going to talk about the lifestyle a little bit. Then we're going to go down to, let's see what it is. Favorite brands. What's your favorite brands you like to wear? Me, it doesn't matter. I can wear anything. I like to wear vintage. It doesn't matter. I'm a budgeted person. So I like to budget my, how much I'm gonna spend on wardrobe and how it's gonna look on me and everything. I don't have to buy Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and Chanel to look fabulous. I can look fabulous in anything. So that's the next question. What's your favorite brands? So let's discuss those. Favorite brands. Oh, one more. What's your favorite style icon? Who is your favorite style icon? So if you like someone like Beyonce, someone like June Ambrose. June Ambrose is a celebrity wardrobe stylist. Anybody, it could be Aretha Franklin. It could be anybody. So what's your favorite icon? So let's discuss it. The first one was, let's go under. The first one was, what's your no. It was, hold on, sorry. What's your, what do you wear the most? So I want to hear, like, what do you wear the most? Like, if it's black, white, yellow, people always find different ways to, like, I don't have nothing to wear. Right, black. So people don't never have nothing to wear. And I always tell people the go-to color is black. The go-to color is black. You can't never look wrong. You can wear a black dress. You can black blazer, anything black, and you just switch it up and put different trends on it, or earrings on it, or different accessories on it to make it look a little bit different. So I wear a lot of blacks, and that's because it makes me look a little slimmer. Blacks make me, it makes me look a little bit more chic. It looks good, right? But then I want to get out the black because I wear so much black. So I want to do something different. So I'm gonna find a color that really, really looks good on me besides black. So I go try on different places like Macy's. It could be any store. I'm gonna use Macy's for example. I go to Macy's, I try on the different colors that may look good on my skin. I know pinks look real good on me, reds and all that, the bright colors. So you just have to play around and figure out what colors that look really, really good on your skin. And that's really helpful when you work with a personal stylist or just someone who's in the stores. You wanna make sure they find your correct color, because if the color's not looking good on you, you're just not gonna be, your confidence level is not there, So you gotta make sure that you have the right colors. If it's, like I said, if it's pinks, yellows, or whatever. I see a lot of people are wearing yellows and whites and stuff on here. So we wanna make sure that we find that right color. The next one would be, let's go down. What are our best features, right? So before I even take a picture and me running for Miss Michigan or me taking photos or whatever, I always want to find my best feature. I have my ugly spots and I have my cute spots. So you want to be able to go into the mirror and just look at yourself and just tell yourself every day that you're fly, that you are fabulous, that we look good. Us Black girls are fabulous. We don't crack. So we want to make sure that our skin and everything's together, and find that best feature. If it's like on the side or whatever, let that be your best feature. Go to the malls, take that picture. So when you're taking your picture, you know where your best features are. You're gonna turn this way or whatever. Find those best features. That is very important. So when you're taking the pictures, because you don't want to take a picture and they looking up your nose or whatever. So we want to find our best features. The next one would be, let's go back down. What's your personality?
Yeah, I think we skipped what's your personality. Did we do
Yes,
that?
personality.
Okay, I'm like, wait. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yep. So it may be a little bit over the place with the numbers. But what's your personality? So for me, I like to be sexy. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. And I had to recreate myself. I had to find myself over. I had to like, okay, Latrice, what is your personality? You got to recreate your style. And being this whole pandemic that we're in, and we're just wearing nothing but joggers or whatever, I'm still going to the store, grocery store with a cute little dress on with some sneakers. You don't have to wear heels or anything, but wear those cute sneakers. So we can wear anything that we want when it comes to your personality. If your personality is bubbly, get out there and you know, dress bubbly. Let your personality create your style and your image for you. If it's conservative, you can be conservative, but it's ways to be conservative and sexy. It's ways to be conservative and, you know, street style chic. You can still wear your blazers with a cute skirt, with a t-shirt, with some gym shoes or whatever. You still can create that fabulous look, just being conservative and real chic at the same time. But we want to make sure, us ladies, we want to make sure that we find ourselves, because we do a lot for these guys. And we do a lot for our families and friends just to make ourselves look good, right? So we want to make sure that our personalities fit our image. So we're going to go back down a little bit. And then we're going to create, like, what's your lifestyle, right? What's your lifestyle? A lot of people right now are staying home. A lot of people don't know where to go, but 2021 about to be off the chain, right? So we're going to come back out of 2020. We're going to go step into 2021 looking fabulous. You guys know what your lifestyle is. If it's like going out with your friends, go out with your friends. Look fabulous, put that dress on, make yourself feel good inside, because if you feel great inside, it shows on the outside. Date, like she said, date night. So you want to make sure that the way you dress, the way you look, the color that you have on, the features that you're showing, you want to make sure that it looks good on the inside as well as it does on the outside, because that creates your whole confidence level. You can step in the room and you're still turning heads, and you want to turn heads, even though if you got that vintage outfit on, we want to be able to still look chic and still look good. We don't have to spend a lot of money. Then we're going to go back down to, I think that was it, favorite brands. So favorite brands, you guys, we don't have to necessarily have to wear like the Louis Vuitton, Chanel, or anything like that. Macy's have incredible brands like INC. They also have, like, you know, Ralph Lauren. So we can wear different brands, our favorite brands. We don't have to wear it. We got to support our Black-owned sisters and all this stuff that is going around, our designers and everything. So we want to be able to support that and bring the money back into our community. So our favorite brands, my favorite brands is everything. I wear a little bit of everything. I don't have to necessarily wear anything name brand. I can wear, I shop at a lot of people boutiques, because there's a lot of boutiques out there to shop at. But the only downfall with the boutiques, I know you want to be able to put the clothes on. You want to be able to try it on. You want to be able to fit it, touch it. You want to be able to make sure the color and everything look on you. That's the only downfall with online shopping. But online shopping can be so much fun because it's at the palm of our hands. So creating our own style and our own image, we want to make sure that we are feeling confident on the inside as well as the outside, and work with a personal stylist. You don't necessarily have to work with a personal stylist. So I'm going to tell you some key things to have in your closet so you can mix and match and still look fly and chic, and mix and match it and still don't have to spend a lot of money, right? So here's a few things that you want to have in your closet. You always want to have that black blazer. Everyone needs a black blazer. You need a black blazer. You can switch it with a skirt, jeans, a suit, whatever. Everyone needs that basic black blazer. Then you need like a cute pair of jeans, whether it's like skinny jeans, bell bottoms, whatever. You need to have that cute pair of jeans that's curve, have your great silhouette really well, fits your body really well. Make sure that it's up on your legs and everything, make you look chic and fabulous as well. Then you want to make sure that you have a basic t-shirt. It can be a tank top, a t-shirt, or whatever. You want to have that graphic t-shirt underneath your shirts or whatever, so you can do something like happy hour. You can also wear it to work and make it look dressed up with a necklace on, whatever. So those are 3 basic things. Then you always want to have a cute skirt. It doesn't matter what color the skirt is. You can dress it up and dress it down in so many different ways. Always have a cute skirt in your closet. Another thing you want to have in your closet, you want to have some kind of like accessories, some investment pieces, whatever. Make sure we have those accessories, like if it's a necklace, earrings, bracelets, whatever. We want to have those little key pieces because we can put our earrings on and it still look like something totally different when you're wearing all black. You also want to have a necklace on, just to, you know, show your neck a little bit, show your style, show your confidence level, whatever. You can put a little necklace piece on, whatever. You also want to have cute shoes. So it doesn't matter if it's heels or like tennis shoes. I'm wearing tennis shoes this year, so I have cute white shoes that I wear like almost every day because I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to the grocery store. I still want to look fly. I'm going to maybe my parents' house, whatever, but I'm gonna put on my maxi dress or my cute little skirt and I'm still wearing my tennis shoes. So make sure you have a cute pair of tennis shoes. Another thing that we want to have in our closet, besides the pair of jeans, the blazer, the skirt, accessories, a cute pair of tennis shoes, we also want to make sure that we got a cute dress. It doesn't matter if the dress is black, it doesn't matter if the dress is pink. You want to have a cute dress where you can rock it in different ways as well. Because we're not really going anywhere unless you dare and you like to go out of town. Kudos to you. But me, I am around the house, so I want to look chic still. I still go to the grocery store. My daughter, I make her get dressed up. I'm like, hey, babe, we don't have to get dressed up to go to the grocery store because at the end of the day, you never know who you're running into. So always care about who your image is, how you present yourself, and so forth. Another thing too, how do we budget our money? How do we budget? Before we go shopping, you guys, we always want to make sure that we have a budget. Our budget is, ooh, can y'all hear me? I don't know if y'all can hear me. I'm sorry. We want to make sure that we have a budget. Something will happen to the camera. But I always set a budget. So weekly or monthly, whatever, if I want to spend $200 on clothes or if it's $500, I always set a budget. Latrice, you're not going to go over this budget because if you go over this budget, that means that you got to put something away because you have to manage everything else. You have to manage bills. You have to manage your hair. You got to make sure you get your hair and stuff done. That's not a part of my clothes budget, right? So I want to make sure I have a budget before I enter the mall. I don't want to go overboard or whatever the case may be. So I always shop at different stores like H&M. It could be Zara. It could be Macy's. Macy's have great, wonderful sales. And you know, another store is really great, Lauren Taylor. Even though they're going out of business, but it's a great way to go shopping right now because everything's 80% off. So you can get like $200 worth of clothes and it's like 80 to 100 pieces. So you want to make sure you be very, very strategically smart when you go shopping. Make sure you don't shop overboard. If you do shop overboard, make sure it's like no more than $10, $20 overboard and just set your tone. So I want to hear from you guys now. What are some questions that you would have that you want to ask a wardrobe stylist about your wardrobe or what you want in your closet?
I got a question for you.
Yes.
I was kind of trying to add a new style to my repertoire. I wanted to get that cute, like effortless, cute, like oversized tees and shorts. Like I looked like I didn't try, but really I tried. So to finish off the look, it's like you have to have some cute sneakers. And every time I pick sneakers, my kids are like, those are not cool. And I'm just wondering from you, because you're an expert, what's a good brand of cute, like white and pink sneakers, like not Skechers, right? Like Nike, or I mean, like what would be a good shoe to be cool? Because you know, you're trying to be cool, but it didn't work because you picked the wrong brand or something. I just want to know, like, what would you suggest as a staple sneaker to have in your closet? Thank you.
So sneakers, you guys, I like Skechers because they're comfortable, but I know the kids, you know, they be hating, I know. So if you want to look up to par with your child or your kids, it's always things like Puma, it's things like Nike. We also have, what is some good one? Adidas, real cute shoes, trendy to have in the closet, but they don't cost a lot of money. You could do Adidas with anything. So I'm gonna say like Adidas, Nikes, or like Pumas.
What about like some kind of Air Max? Something?
Air Max too.
You know, like,
yes,
aren't there like
Air
different
Max
numbers to it though? Like,
yes.
I don't know, like.
It is different numbers.
Okay, because I didn't want to pick, you know, you picked the wrong number and it's like, girl, you thought you was doing it and that was from 3 years ago. Those was the numbers and now it's a different number. That's why I was asking, like, is there a specific shoe that you could tell me right now, like, put this in your closet and you'll be all good? All right.
Yeah, Adidas or like Even Converse, you could do Converse. They come in different colors. You could do Converse. So, I mean, because, you know, they do have different numbers and everything. And people are really like up on it. They really like looking at that. But me, I don't care. I put on whatever. I put on shoes from 4 years ago and still rock them. They still look good. So it's all about how you rock it and how you feel in it.
You know what, Lauren? I'll tell you some that I love. So Huaraches are Nikes. So I have the black ones on. Let me see if you can see these fun. Here, maybe I should take my shoe off.
Look, you a little show off. How do you spell Huarache? What the heck?
But they feel like, yeah, and you just gotta buy them a size up though. But they have them in different colors. They always look cute. So I have a black pair, I have a white pair, and I have a red pair. But
what's the price tag on that shoe?
Say it again.
What's the price tag?
No, wait. I think I got
my logging off. Thank you.
Wait, no, if I got them on sale. Y'all know me. Like I got them on sale. So they were probably oh wait, I might have got a kid size. So that probably helped too. You can't do the kid size?
Oh, I ain't wearing no kid size nothing.
Okay, my bad. Okay, well, anyways, they're worth it. If you get you a good pair of Huaraches, they're comfortable. Just make sure I said a size up. It might be like a full size, not like a half size, because they do run small, but these are like my go-tos now, and you can wear them with anything. So that's an idea. I think people said Chucks on here, you know, go to the outlets. Yeah, go to Great Lakes Crossing and get a pair. And it's funny, when you went through that list, Latrice, when I pack like that. I said, I always got to have a black pair of tights. I always have a jean jacket. I always have a black jacket. I always got a pair of jeans. I have a black and a white t-shirt, a pair of tennis shoes, and a pair of cute heels. This is literally what I pack everywhere I go. And then I just throw other stuff in there, and a dresser too.
And stick with it. Whatever you write down, a list that you need for your wardrobe or your trip, stick with it. Don't overpack. And don't underpack. Just stick with whatever you write down. That's the stuff that you need to pack and keep it moving. Because when you overpack, you don't know what you're gonna wear when you get there. You overwhelm. That was the word today. Overwhelm. So you don't want to overwhelm yourself with too much wardrobe. Stick with it, put it together, and just take it out and wear it just like that.
Okay. Now, really quick question before we go to the next one. What is for us to know? Because not all of us are blessed enough to be fashionistas. What's the style that what's popping right now? Like, what do we all need to know? Like, you gotta have this. What is the new style that's happening? It's always something different. So what is it right now?
Yeah. So we still wearing the oversized jackets. We're still wearing the oversized sweaters. We even doing comfortable clothes right now because we're in a whole pandemic. So we wearing cute little jogger sets with cute little tennis shoes with denim jackets, whatever. So we still looking chic. We still wearing our skirts and our graphic tees right now in the fall. And with our cute hats. So you can wear anything right now, but just be comfortable and cute wearing it like a street style chic. So you're gonna see a lot of oversized coats and sweaters.
The street style chic is what she said, by the way. So when you guys are trying to figure out what you got to look like when you leave out of the house, it's street style chic. And there was somebody, Patrice, who on here. She said this is really funny. So I feel like I got to say it. Just let me go through here to find exactly how she said it, because I don't want to mess it up. I think she called it the GW Boutique, which is, listen, let me tell you about the GW Boutique, y'all. It's Goodwill Boutique.
Yes, the good GW Boutique. If you know, at Target, if you're shopping for your clothes and stuff, it's the GW Boutique. Nobody got to know what you're talking about. I bet this is the GW Boutique. I do have a question I would like to ask. If you have a little bit of a belly, you're working out, what's a good accessory to kind of cover that little bit of a belly? Just a little muffin top.
Yeah. So we can put on Spanx, you guys. I wear Spanx. I may be a slender, but I'm a slim fat girl. Like, I eat a lot and my stomach gets big, so I gotta suck it in. So I put on some Spanx or whatever, or I wear something drapey like this to kind of hide it, drapiness or whatever. You can do something like that. Even a belt. You could do a high waist outfit and put a belt on and a cute blazer and hide it still with an oversized sweater or oversized blazer. You can still do something like that. But invest in some really good, like undergarments, like Spanx, skins, what they call it with the Kardashians. I know people don't care about the Kardashians too much, but they have the skins, and it really, like, you know, put your shape back in, you know, tight stuff up and everything for you. I know it's hard to go to the bathroom with, but it's really good to look fabulous with it.
Thank you.
Yes, Angie, go ahead. You can unmute yourself real quick. Definitely. Go ahead and do that.
Thank you, Hadi. Lauren, really, I have a serious problem here because I am a petite girl, 5'2", and the stores out there, go to the PC section, it is totally ugly, totally matronly. So I have a huge problem in finding clothes, and especially finding clothes and always having to get it altered. So what do you recommend?
See, I have that same problem. Like, I'm 5'4", 5'5", and a half, whatever. 5, in between 5, whatever.
That's tall.
I don't know how tall I am. I'm in one of them little heights, right? But when I buy pants, I always buy jeans that's longer because I don't want anything short or anything. So what I do is I always have like a person I can go to get them cut down, a tailor. I can go get them cut down or whatever. And Macy's offer that for free, you guys. If you don't know, Macy's offer a free oh my God, I can't talk. A free person to do your jeans and cut your jeans down for you, a tailor, but they had that for free. So you can just go there with your jeans, even though if it's outside purchase, whatever, you can still go there for free and they will alter it for you. So I make sure that everyone get their, you know, jeans and everything custom made to your body or whatever. And just like when it comes to like men, we don't want to see men in oversized suits or whatever. So I make sure that whatever men I'm shopping for, they get their suits custom to their body, because we don't want to see no more Steve Harveys. We want to see nice tailored suits, even when it comes to women. We want to see everything nice and tailored.
Awesome. And then Angie, they said Vicky Turner said Old Navy has amazing jeans for petites, and Tanisha said Macy's has a great petite section too for you to look at some different things. There is a young lady that's on here, and she said, what closet must-haves do you recommend for a more masculine dressing woman? So, you know, they're not doing a dress. The dress ain't happening. So, like, what do you feel like if the dress is not in their closet and the skirt's not going to be in their closet, what would you say would be a couple of extra go-tos?
Get some beautiful tailored pants, you guys. I like wearing pants, suit pants, trousers. Get some cute, like, jeans, whatever. You can get some cute pants and look real fabulous. I like pants with everything. That's my go-to thing in the winter because I hate my legs being cold. So you can go anywhere for, like, pants, even, like, Zara. I hate Zara and I love Zara. I have a love and hate with Zara because it's the simple fact that it's beautiful, trendy clothes, but it's overpriced. But you can also go to things like Banana Republic. Banana Republic has some nice tailored trousers, some suit pants that you can put on and still rock it with a graphic tee and look fabulous and fly, and put your denim jacket over it and you still look chic with a cute hat.
I love it. I love it. Look, someone said I have a love-hate relationship. Yeah, Zara I'm not the girl. Like, people like Old Navy and find the cutest stuff. I never find anything at Old Navy. Like, that's not my store. Like, I'm the girl that goes to, nobody laugh or judge me, so don't do it. Don't come for me when I say this. So I go to Rainbow, and I'm obsessed with like buying stuff because I can accessorize everything. I got like $3 outfits. Like, if my last post that I just put on Instagram, if you go there and look, that little outfit that I had on and the back is cut out of it, it was $3. Like, when I say so cute, so like Rainbow is, if I have to go somewhere last minute, I go to Rainbow and I'm like, I can accessorize it and then I can get rid of it. Now I'm gonna do one more question before we get off here. So I have all this stuff that I did buy from Rainbow, and it's cute stuff.
Puerto Rico.
I wear my stuff often, like I don't wear my stuff back to back to back, and so I'm trying to figure out, what would you say when you have a bunch of stuff that you bought because it didn't cost a whole lot of money, but now your closet is full of stuff? Like, I want to get rid of this stuff. Like, I got too much stuff.
Now that's an excellent question. Excellent question. So I got tons of clothes in this closet that I don't even wear or whatever. Girl, it's money making time in 2020. So what you're gonna do is anything that you don't wear, like this dress, I'm gonna auction it off. It'd probably be like $10. I'm like, hey, you guys, I'm selling a dress for $10. Go on your Instagram, go on your Facebook, and let them know that, you know, you have some outfits, vintage, and make sure you know that it's vintage. You have vintage outfits for $10, whatever, and sell it like that. Great way to sell things. This is a great opportunity to sell and make extra money and have that side hustle on the side. Everyone's doing it. Use your Instagram, social media platforms, and sell it.
Awesome. You know what's funny? I'm going to get one of my girlfriends. So guys, one of my girlfriends has made thousands and thousands of dollars off of Poshmark, but she's also bought she's bought bags that were $4,000 for like $300, and she learned how to refurbish them and she would resell them. So it's one of my girls that lives in Wisconsin. I'm going to have her actually come on here. So if you guys like the idea of having somebody come teach you how to do Poshmark for real, let me know in the comments, because I just talked to her last night and I was like, girl, I need to do that. Like, I got so much stuff. And I did see some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, like where people would be, they take a picture of their closet of shoes and they're like, every pair for $3. And it's like, you might as well just do that just to get rid of it.
Yeah, best way. And the Facebook Marketplace is excellent. You can sell cars, whatever you want on there. So this is a great way. I just say use your platform. You got to be careful with some platforms, like Posh is good, but you got to be careful with some because you got to owe them a fee. So instead of owing them a fee, I just rather do it on my Instagram and say, hey, I have some dresses for sale. But if you're really good at it, use it.
Awesome. Well, Latrice, I think you gave us some great information. Everybody got their go-tos. So we all know the go-tos. The other thing, we all know what is this style for the fall is street style chic. And so graphic tees is good. Oversized jackets is good. So, you know, Patrice, if there's a little bit of a muffin top, it's in style right now. Like, you good, right? So you can wear something oversized that covered up. Lauren, you talked about, you know, figuring out your tennis shoes, and I love the idea that tennis shoes are super cool right now because I love to wear good tennis shoes. So that is my thing. So cool. Everybody's excited about this. We got what we needed from Latrice. If you want to stay in contact with Latrice, go ahead and put your information in the chat, love, so they can follow you. Almost every night she has a talk where she's talking to somebody in the fashion industry. So yeah, if you can put your information in, that would be awesome.
I most likely will. Thank you so much for having me.
No, we had a great time. We appreciate you, my love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And guys, we are moving on to our 5 gratefuls before we get to the next speaker. And we're not going to have anybody share because we're going to try to get us back on track with time. And I don't want you to miss either. These last 2 speakers are the bomb.com, just like the first 2. And so right now, in this very moment, like right this second, not yesterday, not 40 minutes ago, right this second, what are 5 things that you are the most grateful for? Guys, I like to do that because this is a call where you get to hear inspiring women talk about things that they're doing and they're doing it well. And it's very easy for us to start measuring up and not realizing that there's so many great things that are already happening in our lives right this second. And so, you know, we take a couple of minutes where you write down your 5 gratefuls. I would love for you to share them in the chat so that everybody is able to see these 5 gratefuls. I want everybody to embrace that. You know, this call is always something that I'm super duper grateful for, from the speakers to the energy to all of you and hearing great news that are coming from you guys. I'm always grateful for having a residual and or passive income, whether it is big or small. If you ever get to the point in your life where you're able to make money when you sleep, be so grateful for that. I'm super duper grateful for the health of my family and my friends. I'm even more grateful for one of the things I've been very grateful for lately, which is food. When I say I love food, the relationship between me and food is just yes. So as soon as we get off of here, I am driving to Ann Arbor, Michigan and going to the cutest little vegan spot. So definitely excited and grateful for that. And last but not least, I'm very grateful for the ability to connect with people. And one of the areas that I'm still working on is just being better about being a better friend. Like, I'm good sometimes, but other times I struggle. And so I'm grateful for the ability to connect this week. There are some great connections that happened. I had some great friends that were cheering me on. Thank you, Kina, for cheering me on this week with, you know, a couple of the different endeavors that I had going on. So those are my 5 gratefuls. If you will put your gratefuls in the chat, I read all of them. I'd love to see them. And it's humbling, you know, and I feel like this is something that if you don't practice this on a day-to-day, start doing that. You know, if you have some of your friends that you need to just be like, girl, what you grateful for today? Like, do a grateful check, right? Just to remind people of the importance of that. And so We are going to switch into our next speaker, and I'm excited. Guys, by the way, you know, I always have my notebook, which if you're new on here and this is your first time, I would suggest you get a notebook. And I would just take notes for every one of these calls so that you could go back. Like, there's just so much valuable, look at Angie with their notebook, so much valuable information and amazing people that are here that can really sow great seeds in your life. But this young lady, I'm excited to take notes from her because she's done some amazing things. Like, she's got out of, I'm gonna spill the beans, like over $1 million worth of debt. Like, she's done that. Like, she has done some amazing, or maybe it's 100,000. I might have just done a whole lot. I can't remember one or the other. It's a lot. And she's a financial expert, somebody that we met through our lifestyle club. So a connection that I was able to have. We both have a serious love and addiction to travel and helping people. Somebody that is now a partner of mine. We're going to put together some really cool things for kids in the very near future. So make sure you're watching out. But we've had her on here to talk about stocks and investing. So if you're ever looking for more help with that, we've had her come and talk about that. She also is a professional in the real estate industry with investing there. So we'll have her talk to us about that. We've just had her talk to us about getting a great financial mindset. And guys, that is so important for us. Your relationship with money has to be great. And if it hasn't been before, that's okay. You get to start over today. If you're sitting here thinking like, when Christy was going through all the different things and you're like, I got to pay for this and this and this and this and this. Listen, so does everybody else. But you've got to be able to have a framework and a coach to help you throughout the way. And so without further ado, I'm very excited to introduce you to my sister, Miss Jonelle Rocke. Are you there, my love?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. And girl, get those glasses. Yes. Yes.
They're new. I was like, I saw them at the eyeglass store and they were like calling my name. I'm like, I need those in my life.
Well, you look absolutely beautiful, queen, and we're excited to learn about eliminating debt. I know throughout the week you've done some different seminars about that too, but the ladies are ready. Like, when I say they're ready for you, they are ready. So girl, take it over.
Okay, fantastic. And I am ready for all of you. Thank you so much, Hadi, for having me on. And wow, I've gotten so much value so far from just being on from 3 o'clock. Christy, I am going to take up the 7-day challenge and start the morning pages because I definitely struggle with just waking up and not reaching for my phone. Like, I'm mindful. I'm like, okay, Jonelle, don't do that right now. Spend time in meditation. So I'm going to definitely take up that challenge. And I was actually taking so many notes with Latrice and all of the great advice she provided around creating our own personal style. So with that, one of the things she said is make sure you make a budget before we go shopping, right? And so we're going to actually talk about today eliminating debt while on your journey to financial independence. And you know, Hadi said something in just introducing me, just that, you know, even if your money isn't quite where you want it to be right now, that's okay. If your relationship with money is funny, that's okay. The point is that you're here now, you're here today, and you're going to pivot. And that's what this is about, right? We're about continually on this journey to becoming the best version of who we were created to be. So for those of you who may not know who I am, my name is Jonelle Rocke, and I am the founder of Generation Wealth, which is an organization that focuses on helping both youth and adults understand and implement the principles of financial independence. And when we talk about financial independence, it's being able to generate enough passive income to cover and eventually exceed your monthly expenses. And so we're a bit different than a lot of when we think about financial literacy. Generation Wealth goes a bit further than that. It's really about economic empowerment and owning your own personal economy. And I can't think of a time where that is as important as than right now. So let's get started. I have a actual presentation here to show you guys. So I'm gonna just share my screen so that you can see. Okay. All right. So I hope you all can see. Okay. All right. So eliminating debt on your journey to financial independence. So I'm going to talk to you as it relates to some guiding questions. So first question, what does mindset have to do with overspending and undersaving? Second question, how can we begin to make the necessary changes towards developing a wealth mindset? What are the 3 most common strategies used to eliminate debt? And finally, what other financial goals should we be working on while getting out of debt? So let's start with the first question. What does mindset have to do with overspending and undersaving? So one of the things that I have noticed on the Brunching with Beauties call especially is when you're looking at making lasting changes in any aspect of your life, the expert speakers oftentimes start with a conversation around mindset. And that is just as important in these other areas as it is when it comes to finances. So when it comes to dealing with debt elimination especially, it is extremely important, I would say foundational, to you not just getting out of debt, but staying out of debt. Because you can get strategies. There are tons of strategies out there. But if you don't deal with the behaviors and the emotions that drive what you're doing to get into the places where you may be in debt, and you're constantly in this place where you might be struggling with your finances, then nothing's going to change. And so I think it's very important to start with the conversation about that. And this is a lot of the work that I do with my clients and working with them. And, they come, they have debt, they have all kinds of different, everyone has different situations that they're dealing with. But we actually spend 1, sometimes 2 or 3 sessions dealing with the mindset and what's going on at the root, and discovering what that is, and then coming up with a plan to address it so that once they do get out of debt, once they do start investing and saving, that they're able to stay on that track. So behaviors around money are strongly connected to your emotions. And the experiences that can negatively affect how you manage your finances are verbal programming, modeling, and then specific incidents. So verbal programming has to do with, what did you hear when you were growing up? I know, I used to hear my grandmother say all the time, I'm the only one paying these bills, and you guys, you keep the lights on all the time, and you're always on the phone. This is when we didn't have unlimited phone plans, so we had landlines, and you had to pay a phone bill, and you got charged by how many minutes you were on the phone. And so she was constantly complaining about the cost of bills because her income was finite. So that can instill an attitude of lack, right? A lack, thinking that there's not enough money to go around. So I had to then change that mindset and replace it with one where wealth is infinite and there's more than enough to go around. Modeling. So what did you see when you were growing up? What did you see in terms of how the people closest to you, the way they manage money or the way they might have talked about money? Did you see your parents or your caregivers argue about money all of the time? Specific incidents. Was this something that might have happened that could have been traumatic around finances? And it's really important to ask yourself these questions and to go through this reflection process, because this is really what's going to help you change your direction and move in the direction that you need to move in. One main attribute of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So the thing about this process where you are going through this reflection is that it's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. And it's really just making a decision. Like, I'm gonna really spend time to reflect what Christy was talking about earlier, just being still and making time to be still. We also need to make time to really think about what's going on with our finances and what kind of behaviors are driving the decisions that we're making. So in terms of what you can do in terms of actively, some strategies that you can use to actively make changes towards developing a wealth mindset is working to change negative programming that you have around money, right? And the way you do that is through auto-suggestion. And so that's a big word, but it really just means that you are, you're changing the way you think. So if you had for example, for me, I had a belief that there wasn't enough money to go around. And so I replaced that with that wealth, that there's an abundance of wealth to go around. And I would literally say that and meditate on that every single day. That's how you change your brain. That's called, I'm sure you might have heard me speak about this before, but that's the process of neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity is the ability to change your brain. And so when you do that over the course of 21 days, you're literally tearing down a toxic thought and you're building up a healthy thought. And it's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. And it's the things that seem like it's so easy that's like, oh, it's not gonna make a difference if I don't do this today. Well, it's the same thing where if you're trying to lose weight, right? It's like, oh, it's not a big deal if I have a cheeseburger today. I'll just eat a salad tomorrow. If you do that 5 days in a row, you're like, oh man, this week I gained an extra 3 pounds. It creeps up on you. It's easy to do. It's easy not to do. And so you look at what those negative thoughts are, experiences, replace it now with declarations, replace it with affirmations that you say every single day for 21 days straight. And you start to see that your thinking changes. And it has to be a practice that you continue. Start to put in good information, right? So what are you listening to? What are you watching around finances? That's what's gonna help change the way you think.
Can I do this really quick, Jonelle? Can you move the chat? It looks like the chat's up on your screen.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
That's okay.
Okay, so let's move now. We're gonna talk now about some strategies, okay? So strategies, we'll look at the 3 most common strategies. Oop, my whole presentation just took on a whole life of its own, sorry. Okay. So 3 most common strategies for debt elimination. So you have doing it yourself, getting a consolidation loan, and debt negotiation. Now, I work with my clients. When I work with them, I work through the process, if possible. You know, we look at what's going on with their debt, and I'm the person that'll help you do it yourself. Okay, so I'm gonna look and see how can I help you figure out a plan to take care of this debt on your own. So when you're doing it yourself, that's where you come up with a plan, a debt management strategy to pay off your debt aggressively using, you know, different strategies that you can use. The other option is a consolidation loan. And a consolidation loan is when a bank pays the total amount of debt and then it's repaid with interest. And then debt negotiation, these are companies, you know, they're able to negotiate they can cancel a part of your debt, negotiate it down to a much lower cost. You pay them a fee. And the specialists kind of work with you to figure out what works best for you in this situation. So debt specialists, they speak with creditors to basically get the debt reduced to a fraction of the cost. So I wanted to show you when it might make sense for you to choose one of these options over the other, okay? We are actually, I also wanted to let you know that we're doing a course in October where we're actually collaborating, Generation Wealth is collaborating with another organization called Be Great Financial Counseling. And they specialize in debt negotiation. So they have, you know, the experience just kind of figuring out when it's gonna make the most sense. Now, every person's debt story is different. And so there's one thing this is not, it's not a cookie cutter process. So, and the thing you need to know is that you should never feel like you can't ask questions or get help. So if you feel like you are overwhelmed with debt and you may feel a bit ashamed about it, that is, you don't want to allow those emotions to put you in a place where you don't reach out for the help that you need. And being on a call like this is definitely a way to get help and to get wise counsel so that you can make the best decision. So 4 things you want to consider when you're thinking about these strategies. So negative cash flow. So do you have more money going out than what's coming in? That's what's called a negative cash flow. Your credit, do you have good or average credit, or do you have bad credit? Your need to borrow. So need to borrow, I want you to think about big ticket items. So borrowing to buy a home or buy a car, or maybe finance a business. Those are big ticket items. And so is there gonna be a need to borrow for big ticket items within the next 7 years? So if you don't have a negative cash flow, you know, doing an analysis of your budget and see that there's ways to eliminate areas where they may be overspending, or looking at other ways where money is coming in and you're not really managing it well, and you do have a positive cash flow, doesn't matter if you have good credit or bad credit, because you're taking care of it of yourself, taking care of it on your own, and you do have plans to buy a home, a car, finance a business, or make any one of those bigger purchases within 7 years, then doing it yourself would be a good way to go. With a consolidation loan, you would still need positive cash flow, because a lot of times people seek out a consolidation loan so that they can, you know, they're having problems managing all of these different bills at the same time. They want to see if there's a way for them to pay less instead of what they're paying with all of the high interest rates. But in order to qualify for a loan like this, you need to have good to average credit. It's very hard to get a consolidation loan with bad credit that's going to be in your best interest. That's where you have these predatory lenders. So you need to have good to average credit for a consolidation loan. But at the end of the day, consolidation loan business companies, whether it's a bank or credit union, they're in it to make money too, okay? And so what you'll find with consolidation loans is that sometimes you'll have the loan itself might be stretched over a longer period of time and the interest rate would be lower, but over the life of the loan, you oftentimes end up paying more than you would if you did it yourself, okay? So that's just something to think about. So you're paying for convenience pretty much. Then you have debt negotiation. So now with debt negotiation, if you have a negative cash flow and you have more money going out than what's coming in, you have, especially if you have, you know, important things that you need to be taken care of as it pertains to your family and your children, and you don't have enough money for that, you're really in a tight situation. You have bad credit, and you're not in a place where you need to borrow within the next 7 years, then debt negotiation might be a good option for you. The thing is, the reason why it could be a good option is that if you're not looking to buy anything, make a big ticket purchase within the 7 years, the debt negotiation, when they go through the process of negotiating your debt, bringing it down to a lower cost or a lower amount, and then you pay the organization, you pay the company to do the payments for you, they oftentimes will advise that you stop making payments on any of your accounts. And so your credit is going to take a hit. And you will see that can stay on your credit report, you know, for at least 7 years. So it may not seem as the best option right away, but if you don't have enough money to pay for the things that you need, this may be an option that can work for you, and you're not in a bad place forever, okay? So those are the 3 most common strategies. The final question I wanted to talk about was, as you're going through this process, there are some other things you need to be thinking about, okay? Like we said, developing your wealth mindset, because let's say that you chose any one of those strategies and you were successful in eliminating your debt. Like I said, if your mindset is not in the place where it needs to be, it's only a matter of time until you find yourself back in that same place. You also want to make sure that you're implementing a budgeting strategy. I call it a financial independence budgeting strategy that gets you on the road to generating passive cash flow, okay? And there's steps to that. So you definitely need the first step. You want to make sure that you're building up an emergency fund. Before I go into those 3 milestones, a financial independence budget looks at allocating money for spending, saving and investing, and giving. And those three areas are extremely important. And when we look at the saving and investing, the investing specifically are investing in vehicles that can generate passive income for you. Now, building up an emergency fund, you don't want to, so, when I talk about saving, saving your money in a bank account is not a place where your money doesn't grow in a bank account, but you do need to be prepared for emergencies. And so the first step in building that foundation is making sure that you have an emergency fund. And I'm sure you've heard have, 6 to 9 months of emergency funds saved up. And that can seem overwhelming, especially if you have like a negative cash flow, you're trying to get out of debt. You're like, what, 6 to 9 months? I can't even think that far. So I want to encourage you to think about it in terms of milestones. So first, save $1,000, because usually if something breaks or something goes wrong, the cost of that will end up is not usually over $1,000. So at least you'll be prepared for an emergency that pops up with at least $1,000 in your emergency account. Then you can go to milestone number 2. It's like, okay, I saved $1,000. Now let me start saving for 3 months of living expenses. And then work to milestone 3, where you can save an additional 3 months of living expenses. So break it down, make it manageable. And I would say celebrate your milestones. Don't forget to celebrate your successes. You need to celebrate yourself. If no one else is going to celebrate you, you're working on you. And so, if that means like taking yourself out for ice cream, or, going to get your nails done, or you get a massage, whatever it is, celebrate those small milestones. Okay. So that's all that I have for that. For today, I'm open now for any questions that you all may have in regards to what I just said.
Hi, I have a question.
But Patrice said, I got a question. Go ahead, girl, go.
Hello, everybody. Yes, so I am out of debt. Thank God this year I took all of my unemployment money and saved it and paid my bills. So no more car note, no more credit card bills. I paid my car off, But my question now is my 401k loan. I used that loan to help buy my condo. I know to the dollar how much I owe, because I always keep that in my head. If somebody walks up to me and say, how much do you need for your 401k? It's like $4,669.97. So I have that, right? Should I pay that off? Should I pay off my 401k loan early, or should I continue to save for a rainy day? Now, mind you, I have an amazing husband. He takes care of all the bills. My money is my money. His money is my money. I am blessed in that way. I promise you, ladies, it happens. So I just want to know, what is the next step? Now, I just was a part of the Budgetistas group. Mm-hmm. I got out of that group because it hadn't grown to where I was. Everybody was, I paid off my student loan. So that's mainly what that group was about. But now I'm on another level. So I'm interested in stocks and other things. So first question is, should I pay off my 401k loan early? Thank you.
Okay. So how long is the term of the loan?
I think it's like 30 years or 20 years or something. I mean, I can pull it up for you if you like. I have it right here on my computer.
Oh, no.
But it's not long, but it's only like $4,000. 46 is what I owe, and I have it to pay it.
So then pay it.
Okay.
Pay it. If you have it, pay it. It doesn't.
And I won't be in a bad situation if I pay it. I can pay it and still. Okay.
Yeah. So I would say, if you said that you have you're in a situation where you've paid off all your other debt, your husband is he's there as to help support you, and you guys are working together. It seems like you guys have a good synergy. So if you can afford to pay it, pay it. What are your, I guess we can talk about this offline, because I'm sure you have some other financial goals that you're working towards as well as it pertains to investing. So I would say you should pay that, because there is definitely an interest rate that you're paying on that loan. And so over the life of the loan, it ends up costing you more money. So if you can eliminate it now, then get rid of it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I will follow you.
Okay.
Thank you.
That is
I have a question.
Go ahead, Lauren.
How much do you think, like a percentage out of someone's income, should they put towards like investments, like stocks and just that type of stuff?
So I would say ideally, I talk about the 70-20-10 rule. So ideally 20%. Um, if you want to get to that financial independence goal. But that is not where you start, right? So if you don't have, first of all, I would say make sure you have your emergency funds in place, right? So you have the 6 months, 6 to 9 months of your emergency funds, then you can start looking at investing. And you can start investing 10%, and then invest, and then you can work up to 20%. And I'm talking about investing 10 to 20% of your take-home pay. This is not including your 401k or any of your retirement funds. When I work with clients around investing, it's investing with the goal of you being able to say, okay, in 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years at the most, I can be financially independent, right? And so that is outside of your retirement income.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, for sure, Jonelle. I'm sure we all have 1,000 questions. I got a ton of questions, but we're going to be moving into the next speaker. What I would like, Jonelle, is if you would do me a favor, and if you could put, how they can be in contact with you, how can people stay next to you? I know Nay took your stock course, and she says it's thebomb.com. So, people have been able to learn from you over and over again. I want to make sure I put your information. And, Jonelle's going to come back periodically just to get us to our financial goals and figure out the things that we need to do, educate ourselves. But feel free to chime into the things that she does. Feel free to take her courses. They're definitely beneficial for all of us. And, I do believe that 2020 is a year for us to, it's like giving us a chance to get stuff right. Patrice, I love what you said. You said, I used my unemployment money to get me out of debt. Now, there was other people that use their unemployment money to get in more debt, essentially. Like, they're just spending it on whatever. And you've got to just think about the blessings that come along the way and what you're able to do. And Lauren, I'm going to throw you out here for a minute, because Lauren has a specific amount that she puts for giving back. Yeah. And she has that. And for real, we just had something going on with our food truck, and she was able to give a large chunk of money because she put that aside to give back. And I think that we forget about that. So it's not like Lauren is balling out of control and she's living in her lavish mansion, but she said, this was what I put to the side. She budgeted it for that. And that's what gets you to a place of independence, is doing that. And I was like, God, that's a lot that you had saved up. And she said, I wouldn't touch it for anything else.
Yep.
And it's the mindset. It's the mindset behind it. And, I applaud you, Lauren, for that. I mean, thousands of dollars to help other people out because you put stuff aside. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you, Jonelle. She has all of her contact information in here. She'll be back over and over and over again. So definitely chime in. I just wanted to make sure that we got the ladies that are on here, that you still are going to get blessed by the rest of these ladies. Like, if you've gotten some value out of today, like, let us know in the chat. It always helps for all these queens to understand, the impact that they're having. And every single one of the ladies that are on here sharing, I just want you guys to know this. They pay people to get this, or they get paid, to give this advice out. So they all have consultations for 30-minute consultations or hundreds of dollars with these ladies, but they're doing it for free for you. And so, you don't have to necessarily go spend a bunch of money, but what I will tell you, the best way to support somebody, if you're like, financially, I can't like buy what you got, is to shout them out. It takes no time for you to share their post. It takes no time for you to go and just celebrate them. Take one day a week. And, I try to be better about this all the time, but if you're my friend and you're doing something and I know, I'm telling. And that's an approach that we should all take. It is a free way to make sure that your friends win over and over and over again. So, definitely take that advice. So we have all her information. We're going to switch to the very next speaker, guys. And this speaker is somebody that is also very near and dear to my heart. Somebody that I met through our lifestyle club. And I will say this. It's so important for you to become a member of different types of communities. And 8 years ago, I decided to become a part of a community that allowed me to travel and make money. What I didn't know is that I would be able to meet 3 out of the 4 speakers today. They're all a part of that exact same community. But they're all boss babes and other things that they do in life. And I think that we get so used to being in our normal circles that we don't expand. And this lifestyle club that we've been a part of has really introduced me to the integral pieces for me to win in life. And so I would love for all of you ladies to start evaluating what circles are you a part of that do that. I mean, people spend thousands of dollars to be a part of networking communities. Like, just start thinking about that. I just want to like plant those seeds and let you know that you got to have a goal, what is it? Goal friends. That's what my girl Tari says. She calls them goal friends. So you got your party friends, you know, the ones that's like the party. You already know which ones they are. But then you got your goal friends that are like, girl, where are you with what you said you wanted to get done? You know, like, where's your money at, boo? Right? Not the ones that are going to go shopping with you, but the ones that are going to help you, which me and some of my friends right now, we're saving an extra $5,000 in 6 months. So like outside of all the savings, all the things that I'm doing, every single week, we have a certain amount of money that we have to put in the envelope and lock it away. So we're saving an extra $5,000. Like, where are your friends that you do that with? If you don't have some, this is a great community to start pulling some of them through that. And so we're going to switch into a next young lady that, you know, I'm talking about wealth for a second when I'm talking about the money that you're saving. And we talked about that, but I also want to talk about health, because your health is wealth. And if you aren't healthy, it doesn't matter how much money you make or you have or anything. And you know what's crazy is sometimes you'll sacrifice your health to get wealthy, but then you now have to spend that wealth to get back healthy. Right? And so we have a young lady that's going to make sure that that doesn't happen. And she is, when you hear her voice, it's very calming. So like my voice is probably going to make your nerves might jitter a little bit. You try to like jump out your seat. She like brings you back down. And she's like, take a deep breath, calm down, and understand that progress is way better than perfection. So yes, I met her years ago through our club. We actually met on a trip. Try to remember, we met on a trip, and then we've cultivated a really amazing relationship. And I've been able to see her continuously work on herself as well as her brand. And, you know, I call her a plant-based specialist, whether that's what she wants to be called or not. Like, I'm calling her that because she helps people start transitioning. So she literally has a course from like 0 to 100 where you could say, I'm going to start taking baby steps to get me where I need to be. So she's definitely a nutritionist and understands that, but she's also like a healer. And that's what I needed in my life. I need a circle of healers, and this is definitely exactly what she is. She runs multiple businesses, encourages people on a consistent basis. She is a health coach. And so, you know, there are people that have diseases that doctors will tell them that it's terminal, but she's been able to get them on a path of wellness. So guys, I'm not the girl that's gonna tell you better take this supplement or that supplement. Like, I don't do that, but what I do believe is that you have to be well. And she's gonna talk about a wellness plan. So guys, without further ado, I'm so excited to introduce you to this boss queen, one of my sisters, somebody that really, if 2020 hadn't happened, I wouldn't have cultivated this type of relationship with her. So I am forever grateful for this year, for giving me this circle. And so without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Miss Erica Nicholson, otherwise known as Erica is Online. Are you here, Queen?
Hey, I am here. Hello, hello, everyone. Oh my gosh. I have been so blessed by today's call, for one, from Christy. I mean, goodness, we're talking about financial things. I actually went to change my shirt after listening to like Latrice. I was like, goodness, oh, I am a little bubbly. Maybe I should have on something bright instead of a black shirt. So thank you. And I'm going to address my closet later. So thank you so much. This call is dope. So what I'm really excited about is stressing the importance of having a personal wellness plan, right? Because oftentimes, I don't know how many of you, but I would be interested in seeing in the comments, how many of you have either received a diagnosis of some sort that you were afraid, you were nervous, or you know someone who has, right? Whether it's been within our communities, you know, we hear women who have fibroids, they have all kinds of medical conditions. Cancer, you know, is a really big one. So if you or someone, yes, so I see fibroids, like there's so much that we encounter just in our day-to-day lives. But when we're talking about the medical industry, whenever you go into that doctor's office and, you know, they've taken the test, and then you come back and they're like, I'm sorry to tell this to you. And instantly you're afraid, you're nervous, you're like, oh my God, what do I have to do? If it's cancer, like, oh my gosh, yes, okay, I want to sign up for chemo, like immediately, whatever I have to do. But what I really want to encourage you guys to do is to pause and reflect and create a personal wellness plan. The third leading cause of death in the United States is medical malpractice, right? Number three, guys, number three. Now, I'm not saying that to say that there's something wrong with the medical system. I'm not saying that at all. I think that if we were more intentional about caring for our health and we went into the office with some sense of self-awareness and we understood the importance of asking questions, that I think those numbers may dwindle a bit, because you have to understand that this is your body, right? You've been with your body forever. You know what's going on with your body. At least from a symptom level, you know what's going on with your body. Now, just to put this into perspective for you guys, to help you to understand, COVID-19 this year has killed, I think the last count by New York Times, it's 199,000 people. Now, medical malpractice, the statistic from the CDC is that there were 251,000 people killed. So when we start looking at the numbers, right, statistically, medical malpractice is something that we really need to pay attention to. And if it's not something that the media is paying attention to, it's something that we have to pay attention to when we're receiving information from our doctors and from our nurses about our health and wellness. So what I want to do today is just really help you to understand how you can become your own wellness advocate, because that's the passion, that's the work that I love doing. I have a childhood best friend who passed away, and some of you may be aware of the story, from cancer. He found out in September. Within 3 months, he passed away because he went in and they're like, we need to get this aggressive chemo going. Fast forward several years later, after researching and studying, one of my friends told me that he was diagnosed with cancer. And I said, hey, ask these questions, think about this, do this differently. And now he's healthier than ever. He's here for his mom, his sons, his wife, and he's living a vibrant life, all because of just becoming his own wellness advocate. So the 4 steps, number 1 is awareness, right? Mindset. And I wrote a couple of notes because there are some things that I want to talk to you guys about. So the first thing is awareness. And what we're going to do is listen to your body, right? Right now, I want for you to ask yourself, are you holding tension somewhere in your body? Like, is your stomach tight? Are your shoulders tight? Are you holding tension anywhere in your body? And if so, just inhale deeply and relax to release the tension. It's those little things, such as just being aware of what hurts and what pains you have and what ailments you have. That little bit of awareness, whether it's like being drowsy, having headaches, feeling fatigued, like our bodies, they're actually communicating with us. They're saying, hey, something is going on. If your digestive system is out of whack, which is the way that our body releases waste, we need to think about that. Okay, if I'm not having a bowel movement every day, that's a check engine light. Like, I need to understand what's going on. I need to figure out, I need to increase my diet, add more fiber. I need to drink more water. We need to start paying attention to the things that our body's telling us, right? So the second thing is to be inquisitive. Now, how many of you know that with this COVID, with the COVID-19, they're checking temperatures, and when they check your temperature, they put it right here, right? They put it over your forehead. Did you know that you can tell them to check your temperature on your wrist? I'm interested in knowing how many of you are aware of this in the comments. Like, did you know that you can ask them, like, oh, no, here's my wrist. You can put your wrist out there. Did you know that you can ask them that? See, it's those little things, right? So some people said yes, several people said no. Yes, like, you can deny, because I don't know what that little infrared beam is doing to my brain. I really don't know. Research shows, it says some things about calcifying your pineal gland. I don't know if that's the case, but what I don't want to create a comfort around is somebody putting something to my forehead, because it makes me think of like a gun. It's those little things. So next time someone goes to check your temperature, hey, here's my wrist. you know? And actually many of them already know. I call my gym and to ask them, because they're doing temperature checks before you go in. And I asked them, I said, are you guys able to check the wrist? She was like, yeah, sure, if you ask. But guess what? If you're not asking, you don't know, right? So being inquisitive, like if your doctor is saying to you, oh, you know, you've been diagnosed with XYZ, you can ask the question, hey, well, can you tell me a little bit more about this? What has research shown about this? Making sure you're asking questions. There's a quote by Tony Robbins that I wanted to share with you, and it says, questions change the resources available to us. Questions change the resources available to us. Because if you don't know to ask them to check your wrist, or if you don't know, for example, I saw someone list fibroids in the group. If they've only told you about having a full hysterectomy, if you're not asking the question, what other options are available for me? There's things like an ablation where they burn the lining of like the uterine wall. There's also a myomectomy where they can actually take the fibroids out and preserve your uterus for people who are actually wanting to have kids. Because the most heartbreaking thing for me was having someone in their 20s. I remember I was reading an article and she had her uterus taken out, and now she's trying to figure out, how can I have a baby? Not knowing at the time that by having that hysterectomy, you can't carry a child. So making sure that you're asking the question, whatever the illness happens to be, whatever the dis-ease happens to be, making sure that you're asking questions, because in asking questions, that's how they will open up and share more information with you. I myself, like I would not be here today if I did not ask questions. So I share this story because if it helps you to understand the importance, it's worth it. So in 2011, I almost died. Like I was having piercing migraine headaches. I had extreme shortness of breath to the tune of being in the shower and trying to take a shower, like I was out of breath. I had to stop walking from the bathroom to my bedroom. I was out of breath, going up and down the stairs. And I was like, what is going on with my body? I went to the doctor. They thought I needed a CAT scan. They were like, oh, you have a heart murmur and all these other things. And I remember having issues with iron in the past. And I said, hey, could you check my iron levels? And when I came in to have my iron levels checked, now this has been going on for like 6 months, him trying to figure out what's going on with me. By asking that question, I had my iron levels checked. He called me, said, you need to go to the emergency room immediately. 5 blood transfusions later, he's like, you're a walking miracle. Now, he told me that I could have gone into cardiac arrest on my way to work driving in my car. So 6 months of interacting with him, trying to find solutions, asking that one question, hey, can you check my hemoglobin, saved my life. And that's why I'm here today. So it's so important for you to take control of your life. The third thing is to create a wellness plan. And the wellness plan, the purpose of the wellness plan is to make sure that you are checking in with your body and you have an awareness of what's going on with you. So the first thing, it's like mental health, right? And with mental health, I want for you, if you have a therapist, you can work with your therapist on your mental health issues, right? You could do breathing. You could do your EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, which is tapping, right? You can do your tapping to release stress. But if you need to go a level beyond that, talk to a therapist. And then when you go into the office of a professional, whether it's a therapist or a doctor, you can let them know what's going on with you, as opposed to going in and say, hey, what's wrong with me? Could you tell me what's wrong with me? Don't leave that up to them. Like, you make sure that you go in with some information about what's going on with you, so that it becomes a partnership, as opposed to you surrendering to them to tell you what's wrong. The second thing is physical health, right? Of course, we talk about working out, but some things we don't really talk about the importance of, like getting massages and stretching and some of those things that can be often overlooked. Yoga is phenomenal. You know, I highly recommend yoga, just because it's mind, body wellness. And partnering with your doctor, you know, with what you're doing. The third thing is spiritual health. So under the Create Your Wellness Plan, we have mental health, physical health, and spiritual health. And if you have a pastor, or if you kind of have a direct relationship with God, you know, I'd be like, what's up, Papa G? You know, so whatever your relationship happens to be, you can work on your spiritual health. And that includes, like, you can meditate, whether it's having affirmations, whether you are studying scriptures every morning, whatever it is, it's making sure that you are mentally, physically, and spiritually aware of what's going on with you. And the fourth thing is executing a plan, right? We've all have good intentions of having these wellness plans. And we're like, yes, I'm going to do this because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to do my morning pages tomorrow morning. I'm so excited about doing my morning pages. Okay. It's going down tomorrow with my morning pages. But we have to be consistent, which is why I love the 7-day challenge. I'm like, I can do 7 days. I can do 7 days. So with your wellness plan, I would encourage you to just find one thing out of each category, one mental, one physical, and one spiritual, because I don't want you to overwhelm yourself. And I'd like for you to become aware of where you're holding tension throughout the day. When you're driving, right? Somebody upsets you and they cut you off. Notice where you feel that anger, where you feel that frustration. Because Christy mentioned earlier today how stress is like one of the leading causes of illnesses. And there is a statistic that says like 75 to 90% of office, like when you go to the doctor, like going into your primary care physician's office, it's stress related. So where are we picking up all this stress? It's throughout our day. We're waking up with it. We're going to sleep with it. So being aware of how your body feels and where you're holding stuff will help you to understand, okay, I'm feeling stressed out right now. What do I need to do? All right, let me practice some deep breathing exercises. Let me journal, let me go for a walk. I'm just going to go for a walk, play some music, move your body around, just something to break that up, right? There's power in knowing your body better than anyone else. And it's not something that's often encouraged, even when it comes to our womb health, right? Like as women, when it comes to our womb health, our body, we need to be tuned in to what's going on with our womb, because often it's something that's shame. Now that's a whole nother conversation, probably for another day, where we can talk about womb wellness. But women are encouraged, like, oh no, that's something that we don't need to talk about. That's something that we don't need to think about. But then when fibroids manifest, then it's like, where did this come from? And some of it is diet, some of it is emotional, but we need to understand how to become aware of our body. So that is my biggest thing. So just to recap here. So the 4 steps, the first thing is awareness, right? Making sure that you're aware of your body, what's going on. The second thing is being inquisitive, not being afraid to ask questions, You get those doctor bills. I'm sure like your name is on that doctor bill when it comes to you, when you're going into the office. Make sure that you are partnering with your doctor, because honestly, there are some things that they just don't know. They have studied, their study of medicine is to either operate or prescribe medicine if they're a traditional doctor. But there are other remedies available. There are other things that you can do. The third thing is to create your wellness plan. So identifying mental, physical, and spiritual health, one thing from each category, and knowing that you can have a voice in your wellness. And the fourth thing is to execute the plan. Now here's a bonus, which I love. Find an accountability partner, somebody who can hold you accountable with your wellness plan. Like you're like, listen, all right, listen, I'm going to try to do this meditation thing. I'm going to try to do this morning pages thing. Could you check on me like midday? Could you check on me in the evening to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do? But I'm so excited about having these conversations, because it's not something that we do often, right? Many of the times we suffer in silence. Like we don't know what's going on with people because we smile. We're like, hey girl, how you doing? Yes, I'm feeling great. But you could be dealing with all kinds of stress, all kinds of pain, all kinds of things. But I want for you to get comfortable with understanding why things are happening, how your body is communicating with you. And that's ultimately what I aspire to do with my clients, is to increase their level of awareness with what's going on, help them to understand how to ask questions, help them to understand how to become their best advocates in this health and wellness space, because you can do it. You are worthy of being healthy. You are worthy of health and wellness. You are worthy, and you are enough. And I'm going to support you along the way and do whatever I can. This is a beautiful community of women who will also be able to support you and hold you accountable. And I wish you the absolute best in health and wellness. And I encourage you, please feel free to share this message with your family and friends, because we have to take control of our health. It's so scary to think that the third leading cause of death in the United States is medical malpractice. And to date, there have been 199,000 COVID deaths, but we're not talking about medical malpractice. So let's do what we can to become our own wellness advocates. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Hadi, it's an honor to be on this call and to share with these amazing ladies each and every week. And yes, to your health and wellness, folks, like, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it.
Girl, this is everything. And I'm a testimony, man, of just not believing what other people say. So my brother definitely had medical mispractice happen. So my brother, I'm his second kidney that he got. But he was young in college playing soccer. Kidneys ended up failing, and we're on the path towards it. They thought it was depression, but like when he finally went to the hospital, like he was about to die. And what we have to remember is doctors are humans. Like, just think about how many times we mess up on a day-to-day basis. So why would we think that a doctor can't mess up? Like, they're humans, guys. They might have had a rough night the night before when they come in. And so just taking your health as your priority and not somebody else's is important. And, you know, I remember years ago when I was diagnosed with my autoimmune disease, like I had never had any kind of disease. Like, I don't know what this is. And I remember, you know, when they told me what it was and I went online to look it up and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I definitely believed that's what I had, but I knew that if you can acquire something through time, you did it. There's something that you've done that caused it. And I think that a lot of times we don't take accountability for the things that we've done in life that will manifest in dis-ease of our bodies. And so taking time to rest, changing your diet up. And so I was told I needed to get my thyroid taken out, which controls your hormones. Like, just imagine, ladies, our hormones are already all over the place. And now you're like, oh, I'm about to take this thing out. Like, what's that going to be like? And then they said, and you'll be on pills for the rest of your life. Now, guys, just understand this. I don't care what you have going on in your life right now, what health ailment you have, know this. Whatever you continuously ingest, there is some sort of repercussion, and maybe it's later in life. So here's what I always think about, Erica. I'm like, I could take stuff now, and I could be okay because, you know, I'm younger. My organs are able to function the way that they need to, so it's not so bad. But what happens when you're 80?
Right.
Like, your organs don't function the same way, just like your knees don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything does just a little bit less. So it's funny because I say that to people and they're like, you could have just gone and get surgery. It wouldn't have been a big deal. And I said, yeah, but it's about your quality of life. Like, I don't want to be the girl that lives till she's 90 something years old, but she's raggedy. Like, I'm just here. So,
absolutely.
You know, that's something that I'll tell you guys that I just changed my diet. Like, I decided to go towards a more plant-based diet. I decided that I was going to sleep more. And so many of my friends here, they think like I don't sleep, but a girl sleeps. Like, I don't care if I got to do like naps in the middle of the day, I'm sleeping. And I made that a priority even in my entrepreneurship journey. And, you know, I'm just thankful for you to be sharing this message with the ladies right now. Because so many of you guys are going through different things. And, you know, if you're feeling extra fatigue, like, and I get it, the seasons are changing, moon shifting, all sorts of stuff are happening right now. But you got to take that inward reflection. And you're giving such a great message for us to do that and ask questions. Like, we don't, sometimes for real, Erica, we don't even know the questions to ask. And I think that throws people off.
Yeah. And that is the key, like knowing what questions to ask. Just like I was speaking earlier about the temperature check, asking them, hey, wrist, not here. You know, it's like little things. And even like when it comes to your womb, some Patrice posted that helped her with fibroids. Yes, I used to have major issues with fibroids and like heavy bleeding. And that's why I switched to a plant-based diet, because I knew that I could shrink my fibroids as opposed to having a hysterectomy. I mean, and again, this is for another call, but I just really want to let you guys know, like, I was scheduled to have a hysterectomy. Like, it was scheduled for a Wednesday, and I remember finding out about a myomectomy, and I called the doctor like on a Monday, like, hey, I don't want to have a hysterectomy anymore because I heard about the side effects of them taking your womb. So again, we'll go deeper in another call, but I decided not to do it. And my cycles, they've been lighter. So there are just so many things that we don't know. But if you hear fibroids, even though it's not something that's cancerous, right? You think, oh, okay, I gotta have it. No, you don't have to have a hysterectomy. Like, there are other options. So again, the being inquisitive, like number 2, like asking questions, is so important, because it will save your womb, it will save your life. And yeah, we have to continue to do our best to take accountability for our health and wellness.
I love it. This was such a powerful message. Ladies, do you have questions for Erica? As we go through this, I'm like looking to see what kind of questions that I had. I would say this, Erica, like, if somebody is diagnosed with something, right? Or somebody in their life is diagnosed, like, between you and Kina, I would be like, I'd be sending people your way. That's what I would do. Like, what do you suggest for somebody that's like, I have somebody that is in my life, they've been diagnosed with X, Y, and Z. Like, do you say you send them to somebody? Because if you don't know what to look up, you don't know what to do. Like, what's a credible source? Like, how are you supposed to know that stuff?
Absolutely. And see, so if it's about a particular disease or illness, there's information available on that illness. So, and normally the doctors, the information that they have about that illness, that's information that you can study and research. And then of course you can do like your own research. But as far as saying, okay, well, I have this illness, and then finding something that says, oh, here's a solution, a particular solution to it, that information really isn't readily available. And every disease or illness is different, and how it needs to be addressed is different. Now, the most common thread seems to be diet and lifestyle. You know, there are many illnesses that are related to the foods that you eat, but there are some things that maybe some people who get allergies like out of the blue, out of nowhere. So just understanding how to have the posture of, you know what, this isn't the end of the world. Let me start my research. All right, this is the illness. Let me do some research on figuring out what this particular illness is. And then partnering with your herbalist and your nutritionist to help them to provide you with some resources and information, booking those consultations where they can talk to you one-on-one to understand what your symptoms are, how long you've had these issues, what has the doctor said. So for example, if it's fibroids, I would ask, well, check to see how big they are and where they're located, because the location of them determines how you will address them. So there really isn't a cookie cutter design for every disease. Again, most common, it's happened through just environment, because sometimes it's not what you eat, it's like where you live. If you live in an area where there's a lot of smog, a lot of pollution, you know, you're ingesting that. So detoxing is important. So there are some key things, but unfortunately there really isn't a cookie cutter approach. I think the most important thing is to don't be consumed with fear and feel like you have to make an immediate decision right then and there. Because if you think about it, you didn't know about that particular illness or disease before that day, and you were fine. There are some people who find out they have an illness and they die quickly because they're so worried. So let's not worry. Let's like have some conversations. Let's understand who we can connect with to get some clarity on our illness and how to address it. So so that would be my recommendation, as opposed to having a blanket approach for everything. You know, you almost have to get your wellness community, your wellness tribe together so that they can help you through what you're going through.
I love it. I love it. Definitely helpful information. I feel like people, like, I'm not the wellness chick where I know everything, but I'm blessed to say, you know, like, I have people in my life like you and Kina that I can now say, look, I don't know what's going on. Here's one of my friends that needs some help. I know, like, as I found out one of my friends' mom had cancer right away, I was like, Kina, I just talked to him because I don't know what to tell her. Like, I don't know what needs to happen. And so, guys, finding those people that you can confide in, that you trust, you know, that's everything. And again, that's exactly what this community is for. Now, Erica, if you would put all your contact information in here so that everybody can stay connected with you. And Erica will be on more often now. So I'm super excited about that. She's a wealth of knowledge. And if there's anybody that was thinking about going to a plant-based lifestyle, she has a program that's literally set up for that. You know, there are multiple programs that are out there. I would recommend Erica's for you to figure out your voice within that. And let me see if there's any other. Okay, somebody says, like, their mom has congestive heart failure, and they said they're reading up on that right now. You know, like, I don't know, you're not a doctor, so I'm not trying to say, like, what do you do with congestive heart failure? Like, I'm not saying, but what would be, like, the steps for them to start self-researching and trying to figure things out? Like, yeah, there's WebMD, but we don't know the steps for that.
Yeah, so there is, and it's a long website. It's like in something.gov, and I could and I'm trying to remember, but it's like really long. It's nationalhealthsomething.gov, and what you can do is understand what's the source of it. So I like to get to the root of the issue. So while, okay, congestive heart failure, like, what causes it? Is it stress? Is it diet? Is it something that's hereditary? Is it like, where is it coming from? And then once you understand the root, then you can understand how to address it, like how to reverse the issue. Because there could be so many causes. Like I said, it could be diet, it could be your environment, it could be stress related. So we want to make sure that we're considering all those things, which is why, like, I help people transition to plant-based, because normally I work with a couple of doctors, and they always, with diabetes, you know, especially if it was something that you weren't born with, they're like, yes, you need to transition to a plant-based diet. So we work together and collaborated. Some of the more severe issues, I'm like, hey, you need to go to this doctor who will be able to help you to tackle it from other means. So it's almost like you have different puzzle pieces that you put together to come up with the ideal picture for you to address whatever that illness is.
So I think what you said that was huge was it's the source, the root. And most times when we go to the doctor, they give us a Band-Aid. My sister's a nurse practitioner, guys, and I'm just telling you this so she's a nurse practitioner and her husband's going to med school. And when I got diagnosed, I said to her right away, like, because I have friends that are nurses that are like, take the meds, just do that, I'll self-medicate. And I'm like, I just don't feel good about that. And so I went to my sister and I'm like, you're my best friend. Yeah. What do you think that I should do? And my sister said, you don't know that when I sit and I see people, I do tell them to change their lifestyle for the week and have them come back, Hattie. Like, I don't tell them to go take meds. And she's like, and that's not what we're supposed to do, but she's like, I cannot feel comfortable just telling people to put a Band-Aid on top of something. And so for somebody that's in the medical field, like, for them to say that, and I just feel like it's important that we're thinking about those things as we're going into situations. And I don't care who you are on here, you're gonna go through something within your health or somebody very close will within the next 6 months. And I'm not putting it out there to be negative, I'm putting it out there because that's life, right? And when that happens, you've gotta be that person. You might be the only proactive person in your family that even has that mindset, but you've got to have the fortitude, you got to have the network behind you for you to feel comfortable talking about that. So awesome. We're so grateful. Definitely putting this wellness plan, like, I'm going to come up with some stuff. I'm going to put together a wellness plan. I felt more tired, I feel like, than I had in previous weeks, probably because I didn't sleep as much. But when you said, where is the tension? Days ago, like, I woke up like my neck is going nuts. Like, I just felt like something's going on. And what I decided to do was I went and booked myself a massage. Like, I'm going to go get a massage. I'm going to write some things down to see what are the things that are weighing on my shoulders. Because ladies, we'll carry that right here. All the different things that you got to get done today that Christy was talking about that we can't prioritize, you'll wear it right here. Because we're always on the computers, like, it's going to just stay. And so if you're feeling that tension, like, pay attention to what Erica said. We got to find that tension and figure out how to get over it. So, Erica, is there anything else you want to leave us with before we end this call?
I think the most important thing is pay attention to your stress levels, because, again, you shared the statistic earlier. I think there was another one that says, like, 5 out of 6, like, leading cause of deaths are, like, stress related, because you are stressing, like, your organs and things like that. Think about it. When you're angry, you're clenching, you're tightening up and all of that. When you're happy, you're open, you're like loose, you're not restricted, right? So so number one, pay attention to your stress levels. Do what you have to do to manage your stress, because you can't get rid of it. And always, always, always ask questions and work to become your own wellness advocate so that you are partnering with medical professionals and so forth and so on, so that you can have a better quality of life. Now, I can't guarantee how long you're going to live and all of that good stuff, but we really want to make sure that you have the best quality of life possible, 2020 and beyond, especially with 5G rolling out and doctors not being crazy about it and having reports and everything. So take care of yourself. And we're going into flu season. So yeah, take care of yourself.
Well, we
Absolutely.
appreciate that. I know that Erica, she won't say this, which I appreciate this about you. She's never going to do like a plug, but I am. So sell CMOS. And if you're looking to get like for real CMOS and you're like, I don't know where to go get it, Erica is definitely a source for you to be able to do that. Yeah. So, yeah, so we're definitely excited about that. So guys, we're going to go ahead and end this. This has been an awesome call. Like overvalue, like literally people pay thousands of dollars to get what we got in these last couple hours. Phenomenal ladies that are just giving you all that they got. And remember what I said a little bit ago. I said, you don't have to say, Erica, I'm buying your CMOS, but let me tell you what you could do for Erica that would equate to even more than that. You shouting Erica out. You go into Erica's page, sharing one of her posts. You during the week, Erica posts something and you just go and repost that so somebody else is able to see it. You actually making a video. When we're done with this, ladies, and some of you guys are like, I don't do videos. Okay, cool. But if you do videos or if you care enough to help other people in your life, do a video and say what you got from each one of the ladies today and post that on your page. That you have no idea how far that goes and what it will allow your friends to see that you're a part of. There's so many people that on Sundays, they're so miserable. I think they said the number one time for heart attacks is Monday mornings.
Wow.
And they said it's because you got to go back to work. Like people are so stressed out having to go back to work. And so, you know, it's important that you just take that time out to say, on a Sunday, I know you got a bunch going on, but I just want to invite you. And I invite hundreds of people every single time. A couple people hop on and a couple people don't. All I know is that I'm going to be obedient to what I know that I need to do, and it's just to help and to serve. And if we can just create a very great community of that consistently, guys, we're going to win in ways we would never imagine, whether it's health or it's wealth or it's spirituality, whatever it is, we'll be there. So next week we will be back, and I'm excited. We have a couple of people that we already have locked in place. We always have Miss Christy coming with us, and she'll be here sharing some different nuggets. We also will have Miss Pam Valentine, which you guys don't know her, but she is a CPA. And so she's going to talk to us about like your personal accounting, business accounting, things that we should pay attention to. On top of that, we will have Miss Kina, who will talk about breathing philosophies for health and vitality. So like huge, we all need to be able to like breathe right. And then we're going to figure out who the other speaker is along the way. But I just want to like put that out so that you can start reaching out to your people and letting them know that we are here for this. And so ladies, I am grateful for you. Every Sunday, like literally Sunday has become my favorite day because of you. And so whatever we could do to continuously help this grow, let us know. If you have other ladies that need them, let them know. Let them join this community of fun ladies that love more life. So I appreciate you guys all. Have a great week. Yes. Implement something. I don't care. Just one good thing. Implement that bad boy this week and put it on the page so that we see what's happening from these calls. So love you guys. Bye. Everybody have a good day. Bye-bye now.